So I had this shift over the last few days. My anxiety has kind of quietened a little bit, not entirely. There's still a lot there. But I'm thinking about it a little bit differently. I'm working with it a little bit differently, and I kind of want to just kind of share that here. Well, the first thing is that I've been on medication 2.5 weeks, and it's starting to have an impact. So it's helping me to be a little calmer and sleep a little better, and that's sleep is of course helpful. So that kind of brings everything a little bit into more manageable territory, more within my capacity of dealing with these sensations, emotions that come up. It's helping me. Again, I was really not wanting to be on medication, but I am. And again, it just was, my circumstances are just too stressful for me to have done it without. I think there are better alternatives, but this is the choice I made for myself. It's a very personal choice, but I'm still needing to do the healing work. That's cannot be just ignored just because I'm taking this medication. I don't want to use it as a bypass, as medication bypass. They talk about spiritual bypass. I don't want to use it as medication bypass, bypassing my spiritual growth and my personal growth. I really want to continue moving forward, and I see the path in front of me, and I think that's what's really scaring me right now. That's a lot of the fears. It's like, can I actually make it now? I've had a very kind of challenging life, and sort of unhappy life. I don't want to say unhappy. I don't want to label it that way, but it's been challenging, and I've been struggling, and I'm seeing the way forward right now, and I think that's really scaring me. I think that's a lot of the fear that's coming up right now. And but again, I'm holding hope for that, because I am holding that vision. I'm trying to connect to that vision, and as I say, still move forward, even despite this might numb me down a little bit. This might kind of make me want to just not do anything, not take those action steps forward, and just be safe and go to the old familiar. But I'm really kind of trying to be consciously kind of really still moving forward. I'm trying to trust myself, build that muscle of trust in myself, trusting the universe, and continuing to take those steps, little steps, big steps, little steps, one step at a time. Some of them feel like they're big, but just to trust. And I am starting to see things in my environment shifting a little bit. This is a more spiritual aspect to this all. I'm seeing things start to kind of like all these repairs that were like stuck, all these problems, they're kind of getting resolved, which is a great sign to me. That's a nice sign when you see your environment start to change. Something got clean that was really dirty across the street, and just I'm seeing that change, and that's a really positive, hopeful thing to notice. So again, a lot of this is about consciousness and awareness that's happening, and again, that's where I'm coming at this from. But I'm still kind of between the two spaces, like, I'm thinking about this, like, what do I need to do? What steps do I need to do to kind of calm down my nervous system, function, and how can I function in this world? And then also the spiritual aspects, the consciousness and awareness. But they're kind of both the same ultimately. And it's kind of like, ultimately you want to find some alignment with your soul, which means kind of alignment with your body, like understanding your intuition, understanding your body's messages, understanding your higher self's messages. They're kind of the same thing. So as you heal your nervous system, you're kind of healing your ability to kind of tune into the higher realms and to move forward on your path in a way that's more in alignment. If you're really kind of, tuning into your body, that's the kind of the access point. That's why I kind of think this nervous system work in a way is an access point. I'm kind of thinking about it. I think there are other approaches, so I'm kind of, again, processing this all as I move through this. It's like, is this the only approach, doing the nervous system work, or are there other ways that are faster, or there's law of attraction? That's something that I'm working with, and I know a lot of people kind of laugh at that, but it's a real thing, unfortunately. I wish it weren't. It is. What you focus on really does matter. So that's why I'm sort of thinking about that as I'm recording this video. It does matter how you describe your reality and what you focus on, and you have more choice than you realize sometimes. think we forget that. And again, each day I kind of have to choose to find things that are uplifting and that can help me get out of my funk and get out of my my head, and to feel better. And that's important. Feeling good is important. It's important in many aspects for ourselves, but also for our world. We need to find our joy, find our passion, find our vitality, find love, to really create a better world. This is the spiritual aspect of this that I'm talking about here. And so healing comes through that. When you're in those states, that's where healing can be much more effective. But there's all the practical aspects as well, the practical everyday life. So this shift that I had was about coming back into my body. I feel like I kind of landed back in my body. I was like, what was happening was I was in this loop of panic and fear, and it was feeding itself. And I kind of broke the loop. There's a video I watched. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to link it. There's a video I watched and kind of broke that loop, and it's still kind of, this loop is still there, but it's not as powerful right now. And again, the medication does help with that for me. But because my capacity maybe wasn't enough to handle everything that's going on right now. But in a different environment, I probably could have been okay. But again, this is where I am in my life, so this is the choices that I've made, unfortunately. But in any case, I'm going to try to stay a little more on a more positive note here. So the shift that I made was kind of a shift in awareness. And this was about, I'm having a little trouble here. This had to do with this loop, this automatic loop that I'm having. The fears that come up, and the kind of the thoughts that they bring up, and then panic that just sort of was arising, and it felt it didn't feel like I had any way of controlling it or stopping it, so I would spend hours trying to kind of calm it down. I do a lot of walking, a lot of EFT, a lot of these techniques which are helpful and do help to move it through eventually. Usually it would settle down by the evening for myself. Again, I had to make sure I ate, and did some of these energy healing methods to kind of move the energy. But this loop was kind of running strongly. And so what helped me to shift with it was watching this video. And this happens if you've been on this anxiety journey. You'll have these moments where something will just click. You'll watch something, you've heard all this information before, but somehow something will just suddenly, everything will sort of make sense in a different way. So something integrated for me in that instance. So I kind of want to just share what that is here.